Hello, everybody. Wow, already so many people joining so quickly. Hello, I'm just going to quickly pin up a little FAQ I just wrote so that anybody who joins can get the lowdown on my collection straight away. There we go. Throughout this space, I'm going to try really hard not to speak beyond my means, although of course, if anybody has a question that isn't directly related to the specific ins and outs of my project, like even if your project is generative, I will definitely try and help you out with what I know. But yeah, whilst we wait for people to get in here, I'm going to start you with a song. Let's see if you can hear that. I was in an amazing space with the Paris Hilton today, and she has inspired me to just start you off with a bit of Stars Are Blind. Let's give everyone a minute. Just hanging here with you. Oh, she's right. I don't mind hanging here with you, do I? Okay, wow, I feel like a radio host doing that. Hope you found it fun. I definitely did. But yes, welcome everybody. Welcome to my space. This is the first space that I've ever hosted by myself, and the second space I've co-hosted ever. So please bear with me. I am a little bit nervous. I'll let you in on a secret there, but I'm fighting through it. This space is an Ask Me Anything relating to how I sold out my Genesis NFT project. What I'm going to do is start with trying to comprehensively tell you the story, and then hoping that when I start speaking and telling you the steps that I took, people will have things that they want to jump in on, they want to ask, they want to comment on. And if you find yourself wanting to do that, then hop on up here as a speaker and we'll see what you have to say, and whether me or, for the matter of fact, anybody else in this space can help you out. So let's start at the beginning. My name is Dom. I'm based in London. I have been what you may call an artist for about 10 years now. I've always been doing art as a hobby. I've never studied art beyond the age of 16, so it's not really as a trade, but I've loved it. I've sold some prints before in my time, and that's kind of my art background. I found the NFT space in about mid-December, so December just been, through TikTok actually. What inspired me to join was Brooklyn NFT's TikTok. If any of you are not familiar, please go check her out literally right now, or maybe not right now, stay here and then check her out after. But I saw her TikToks about her making her NFT project from scratch, and she was so friendly and approachable and welcoming that I just thought, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it too. And that's exactly what I did. It all kicked off when I unfortunately got COVID, when the Omicron variant was ripping through the UK. Every man and his mother had it, and so did I. I didn't have it that badly, so don't feel sorry for me. I just was locked in for 10 days with not really much to do because it was Christmas time. I wasn't even working. I was off, so I thought this is the perfect time to get into this. And so I did. So what I started to do, and you may think that I'm going too early to the beginning, but trust me, this is all important because you'll find out my whole journey. What I started to do is kind of do what Brooklyn NFTs did, in the sense that I documented my process on TikTok. So TikTok was really the hub of where I started. I did not have an NFT Twitter until a bit later on. I did not join Discord, let alone create my own Discord, until a bit later on. I just started through sharing my process on TikTok. And from there, I started to build community, which I always preach is so important for getting support and selling your pieces. So I started to make connections with people who were interacting with my TikToks, following other creators, making sure to DM them. And instead of just shilling and being like, look at my work, although I don't think shilling was even a word I knew at the time, I'd just be like, hey, how are you? How are you doing today? I love your art. And from there, we started to build really lovely friendships. Oh, we've got one request already. Do you know what? I'll pause there and see what James would like to ask. Hello, James. How are you?
Hello.
Hiya. How you doing?
Great.
Is there anything you'd like to ask or hop in on?
Are NFTs real?
Great question. They're as real as any other digital art piece you see out there in the world. They exist in the blockchain. If you see like a digital art drawing that someone just posts on Instagram or just uses as a logo or something, that's real, right? Even though it's just on the internet.
Yeah. I've also got another question.
Okay.
Why do they sell for like $100,000 when they look so shit? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're not cool enough to warrant that price.
That's another excellent question. I mean, I did say I was going to try not to speak beyond my means, and this is slightly beyond my means, but I'll give you one thought of mine. I mean, NFTs, firstly, some of them may have utility. So if you're thinking about ones that people might think are shit or whatever, you might think of like the Bored Apes, you may not like the art, but they started with the utility of offering exclusive access to a yacht club, or they got endorsements by celebrities and people wanted to meet those celebrities. So that's something that gave it value for people. Like, it's not just about the image, it's about what you get with it. But the other side, even if it doesn't have a specific utility, which not all of them do, it could be about status, of showing that you own the NFT. If it's something that's highly desirable, you might want to show off to other people that you have it and you're willing to pay a high price for that. Or it might just be about the fact that there's loads of hype, and if loads of other people are doing it, you want to do it too, and you have the funds to do so.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I will let Art Acrobat ask a question now. Let me. Here you are, Art Acrobat. You've got the stage. Hiya.
I'm Art Acrobat. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. My nerves are easing a little bit as I've got into it. But yeah, how are you doing?
I hear that. I'm well, thank you. I just did some deep breathing because I feel you on that. Every now and then I just remember to breathe because I forget.
Yeah, it's important to remember to breathe. I need to remember to do that too.
I know, isn't that funny? We have to remember to breathe. Anyhow, my question is, and forgive me, I'm not familiar with your work, so I'm not trying to be funny. A Discord, and well, do you have a Discord? Is the first question.
I think I heard that you've got a little bit of background noise, but I think you asked me if I have a Discord. Is that right? And then you asked us a question before that, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah, no, you heard right. Just that one question for now. Do you have a Discord?
Yes, I do. It's in my link tree, which is in my bio.
Okay,
if anybody would like to join.
Do you feel there is an alternative to the Discord, or do you feel like Discord is the way to go?
We were talking about this the other day, actually. I think I have like Discord overwhelm right now, which makes me not love Discord. Like the only energy I can really give is to my own Discord, which isn't very fair on other people's. So I mean, currently the way that I found it easier and better to connect with people is through like a smaller group chat we have on Twitter, which is just for NFT TikTok creators, and that could be an alternative, but it just depends what your purpose is. Do you want to build a really huge community for like thousands of people? Then probably Discord is the way. But do you want to build smaller, more personal connections? Then maybe a smaller group chat is the way. Does that help? Okay, maybe you're just having a minute. No worries. I'll let someone else speak, but if you want to come back on that, I'll let you hop back on. Right, next up, I think we had Homer. Hi, Homer. Thank you so much for joining me. Great to see you here. How are you?
Hey, Dom. Sorry, were you talking to me?
Yes,
Thank you.
I was. I think did your space do that bit where as you're connecting it just goes silent?
Yeah.
Mine always does that.
I also had my mouth full and my earbuds in, and it switched over to audio. Anyway, hey, how are you? Glad to see your space. My question for you has to do with your choice of charitable donation. Why did you choose that specific one for women's health stuff? And on top of that, is there any other organizations that you think would be suited for future women's health, women's rights, charitable donations?
So, okay, let me start with why I chose the charity that I chose. So, firstly, I thought it really related to the theme of my project. So, if anybody is unfamiliar, my project is called The Flowing Forms, and the images in the project kind of looked like the female body, and the themes and the colors tackled different aspects of both the good side and the bad side of experiencing feminine energy. So, what I feel is really closely linked to my feminine energy is menstruation. So that kind of inspired me to go towards this charity. But I didn't find this charity out of the blue. It was kind of like already in a bank of charities that I have previously supported. I worked with Freedom for Girls when I was at university. I collected sanitary products and donations for them. So I basically just dipped back into previous charitable experience and used this one, especially as I knew that now, as opposed to when I was at university, I could possibly make a bigger impact. Now, your second question was what other charitable causes could be suited for future projects. So the one that I'm supporting with my one of one, or will be supporting when it sells so I can donate, is Create. And that's also linking in with the theme of the piece, because the piece is about finding the balance between following your dreams and not being able to do so due to things beyond your control, such as having to work hard as a first generation immigrant. And so the link is that this charity supports a lot of migrant children or children in low developed areas in the UK, so they can actually have access to the arts if their situation means that they usually wouldn't have the means to do so. So what I'm kind of seeing as I speak and it's coming together in my little brain is that clearly I'm going for charities that fit the themes of my project, because then I feel like there's a closer link there.
Awesome, thanks. I also really appreciate that you chose one that you had dealt with in the past. A lot of people are hesitant to like donate to places that they don't know exactly, like have history with, or have like a knowledge of how they're going to be spending that. And some people would rather just give money to someone who they know is going to do they have already established charitable outlets. So that's really cool that you've done work with them in the past. So cool. Thanks for answering my question.
Thank you. Thanks. Bills.eth, super excited to see you here. Do you have anything you'd like to talk about or ask me?
Hey, yeah, I'm super excited to be here. I wanted to ask a little bit about converting kind of a Web 2 audience to a Web 3 audience, because I've been an artist. Oh shit, I'm sorry. I've been an artist for a few years, but I haven't, and now that I'm in the NFT space, I haven't really been able to convey what's going on to the people who are already my fans. So I was wondering if you could speak on that.
Yeah, so that's something that I'm also struggling with, to be honest. So I relate to you on that one. My NFTs, I shared it a little bit on Instagram when I first started, but not really beyond that, because a lot of people in my circle don't know about NFTs, or maybe have a negative viewpoint of NFTs. So that is something I struggle to do as well. Most of the people that I found to be engaged with my projects are people that I have met within the NFT space. Luckily, there are some friends of mine who do know about them and have been super supportive, including my mum, actually. She had heard about NFTs, but I had to just kind of explain to her, similarly as I did before to one of our speakers, I've forgotten his name, like, why is that actually valuable and why she should care. But yeah, if anybody wants to speak on this, I think Neatly Reckless, you would like to speak on this. So I'd like to welcome you if you have more insight.
Absolutely. So I actually come from a little bit more of a marketing background, so I really do want to touch in on this. I think that we have a sort of unique opportunity with the Super Bowl coming up. So if you have any people that are in your audience, and I know that the Super Bowl has a really big backing, but one of the cool things that they're doing is they're actually pairing off with the NFL, and they're giving NFTs out with each of the individual tickets. So I think that it's going to open up a very large conversation, and might be a little bit of a gateway and a bridge into your current Web 2 audience, to kind of start that conversation and, kind of reintroduce that thought as it's getting kind of backed by this really huge industry.
Thank you for sharing that. As you were speaking, it did give me the thought of the beef. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the beef from Brie Larson, like buying an NFT and loads of people hating on her. Like, I think there are some people that are just totally unaware, and the Super Bowl will bring them awareness, but there are some people that are just so like, ugh, NFT is gross. So I wonder which way it's going to go after the Super Bowl. I'm hoping the positive way, but I'm also bracing myself for the other way. Sorry, carry on.
No, I completely agree with you. I think that, it's still going to be probably a little bit of an even split. You might see some people come over and be a little bit more curious about it now that it's being, kind of backed by this huge conglomerate. But I think that you are going to have quite a few people who are still extremely skeptical about it. So I think just be prepared for both sides of that conversation as the token kind of falls.
Oh yeah, definitely. Kat, I think you wanted to come in on this.
Hey, yeah, nice to meet you. My name is Kat, and I'm a creative director in New York City. I'm creative director of a project called The Eternals. It's like a 10,000 asset NFT project with 55% of the proceeds going to Rainforest Partnership. But I'm also an artist of my own, and I'm doing my first collection of one-on-ones. I just wanted to say one note on that previous conversation, and then I have a question for you. Regarding converting like Web 2 to Web 3, from my experience and my observation, I feel like the best thing we can do is sort of like target the Web 3 audience, because like converting people from like you were saying, like Instagram or whatever, can be really challenging, because a lot of times the conversations that come up is more about like qualifying the value of an NFT, and it's like so variable. And more so, I think it's like easier, lower hanging fruit, like less friction to sell to collectors who are already enthusiastic about the space and who are already like excited to support artists. But my question for you is, like, what was the process of you, like the logistical process, like in terms of choosing your price and choosing like if you were going to do it in auction or just like a flat rate, doing ones of ones, like how many in your collection, things like that. Like what kind of led you to choosing the strategy that you did? And maybe you could shed a little bit of light on your process.
Yes, of course I will. I realized that I started telling my story and I got completely sidetracked by this other wonderful conversation. I hope this doesn't happen again. People feel free to just bring me back on track if I'm like going off on one. But yes, my process. So let's say I've got my original flowing form that I've made. She looks great, love her. And then I get completely carried away doing all sorts of different colors, shapes, really enjoying myself on my mum's iPad, messing around with Procreate. And then I come up with all of these different colors, themes. So I've got orange, I've got devil, I've got angel. Great. So that kind of led me to how many I ended up having. So there's 33. And the way I did it was that I had 5 of the original one, which leads me to pricing, which I'll touch on in a minute, and then 2 of all of the other ones. And the reason I did 5 of the original is because it's the simplest, and therefore I wanted to make the pricing the lowest for that one and the most accessible, so that most people had the opportunity that if they wanted to participate, then there's one that's definitely, well, hopefully in their price range. So I did staggered pricing for my collection. So the 5 originals were 0.17 Sol, which at the time before the dip, I think was like just under £20, maybe like 18. And then I did a few of the plain colored ones, 0.2 Sol, and then ones that had elements like rainbow, refracted, things like that were 0.24, and then I had 3 special ones at 0.29 Sol. So the whole collection in itself was not particularly expensive. It was not in the thousands, definitely, but I did wanted to give the option of staggering so people could choose to participate at the level that they were most comfortable with. And in terms of deciding whether to do one of ones or a generative project, this was not a difficult decision for me, because at that point I didn't know how to do a generative project. I was super new to the space. I wanted to just dip my toe in and do what I knew, start small, see if it worked for me, see if I enjoyed it, see if it glued with me first of all, rather than just like going all in, as I was still in my exploration stage. And then it somehow came together into, in total, a small 33 piece project. Did that cover everything? I can't remember if there was anything else you wanted me to talk about, Kat.
Yeah, and I guess segueing that, when you listed them, I actually found you through TikTok, so that's how I was familiar with you and your work. Did you find that when you listed them, like that promotion was like through TikTok was the way that you got most eyes on it? And like how did you kind of funnel people towards your sale? I was just curious how that process looked for you specifically.
Yes, so this is the reason why I initially said me talking about how I made friends and built community was really important. So I didn't do much kind of promo work. I never paid for any advertising or influencers, nothing like that. I just tried to kindly and genuinely seem excited about it and say, hey, like my job is coming up, things like that, on TikTok mainly, a little bit on Discord. At that time I did not yet have my own Discord, so I would do it in friendly community based Discords that I really enjoyed participating in. And again, just trying really hard not to shill, but just kind of speak in the way that I do speak. So instead of being like, hey guys, buy my project, it's gonna go to the moon, it's gonna be fucking sick, I'll just be like, hey, like, my collection is nearly ready, like, I'm super excited about it, I'd love if you could check it out, it's gonna drop at this time, like, come along if you'd like. And that's just what I did. I also had made an NFT Twitter by that time, so I did tweet about it too, but it was all in a similar sort of tone of voice. I think I shared the same posts on Discord and on Twitter, and the people this is why connections are so important. The people that initially leapt onto the drop and bought during that time really quickly were all the people that I had made friends with. They were not randoms, they were not strangers, they were all the people that I had shared my process with along the way. We've got 2 hands up here. Kat, I'm really sorry, but the priest of Miami has had his hand up for a little while, so I want to see if he wants to jump in on this.
Hey there, can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you. Welcome.
Okay, so I just wanted to discuss a little bit of a new NFT marketplace for you guys, because I can tell that everybody in this chat is a creator or a collector. I'm getting the vibe of. So I'm actually here with one of my engineers. So I would like him to speak about it. That way he can show you guys the benefits behind it.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time to hear us out. We built a new, completely decentralized NFT marketplace. You can find it on www.etherstream.gallery. The reason why we think it's the best NFT marketplace out there is because, first off, it's a multi-market NFT marketplace. So all of your creations now, if you mint them on the Etherstream NFT marketplace, you can also sell them on OpenSea and Rarible. Any NFTs minted on www.etherstream.gallery, any NFTs minted on that marketplace are whitelisted also for OpenSea and for Rarible. So you're not married to any one marketplace. Also, the reason why we think it's beneficial for you to use it is because we find these projects mainly are built with teams. It's rarely, if ever, just one person working on the team, and that presents the problems where it's best if you can split the royalties. I'm sure you guys know on OpenSea forces you to only pay one address to the royalty. On our marketplace, we allow you to split that royalty amongst everyone on the team, so you can keep it completely decentralized and fair members of the team. Furthermore, the profits for the revenue that comes in from EtherStream, first off, our transaction fee is 2.25%, which is cheaper than OpenSea, but all of that revenue is completely decentralized and gets automatically deposited into the EtherStream token, so that if you own any of our token, you benefit from the revenue stream that gets produced by the marketplace. So with that said, any NFT creators like you guys who end up minting on our marketplace through April 1st, any collections minted through April 1st, your wallet address that you use to mint the collection will receive a 1,000 EtherStream tokens, which on opening day will be valued at 15 cents. So we project the value of that to be anywhere between 50 cents and $1 moving on forward into the year. So we invite you guys to mint your next collection on our NFT marketplace, www.etherstream.gallery, so that you can split your royalties with all the team members, and so that you can sell your tokens by whitelisting your NFTs with our marketplace, OpenSea, and Rarible. And if you mint any NFTs on our marketplace between now and April 1st, we will send your wallet 1,000 EtherStream tokens. Thank you for your time. I'll put on Priest of Miami again. And follow us and subscribe. EtherStream Official is our Instagram channel.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That sounds really interesting. For now, I'd really like to recenter the space to the focus of what we're discussing right now. This is an Ask Me Anything space about how I sold out my NFT collection as a small artist. Whilst I do appreciate you sharing this, it sounds wonderful, but I'd like to give the people who are waiting to speak the opportunity to do so. And on that note, I know Chris has been waiting super, super patiently. And then after that, I know Evan had a hand up and then Adam had a hand up too. So we'll go in that order if that's all right.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Hello. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you for inviting me. I have a possible answer to someone else's question and a question for you.
Brilliant.
So the first guy up, I think his name was James, was asking about value. And forgive the tiny shill here, but my last few TikTok videos were about value, not just of NFTs, but what is value. And I think it's been a topic of conversation in the NFT space, particularly for new people who can't quite figure out why one JPEG costs considerably more than another. And the answer is it's no different to anything else in the world. If you think about a car can cost hardly anything or a lot. I won't overstress that. If you look at my last TikTok videos, I cover some of that. It's an interesting subject. And my question for you, Dom, is another kind of topic that has sort of drifted around the world of NFT artists who aren't in a team is the level of work required. So my question is, how once you launch your NFT collection, how much work was it sort of day to day to manage that? So you did talk about putting TikToks up, kind of announcing it, but what else did you do?
In the answer to how much work it was, I mean, fuck me, it was a lot. And I still work really, really hard every day. And I do talk about it. I do take breaks though. If anyone knows me, is in my Discord, is in my TikTok or whatever, I'm always talking about taking a well-needed break and just like zoning out from the space for a couple of days. But when I'm in the game, I'm absolutely blessed. I really hope my manager is not in this space, but I am absolutely blessed by the fact that my job is not that onerous. So I have a work from home office based job, and thankfully I have a lot of time to do a lot of work between that. So typically some of the work that I would do would be to film some TikToks like around midday, lunchtime, when there's like nice light and I feel quite motivated. And then later on the day I'll edit them and post them. I won't post them straight away. And then especially as my community grows, my time on Twitter and Discord grows as well. So I think I spend several hours on that daily as well, which is kind of now. And then I think at the time of when I had launched the collection and I was trying to promote it, I actually did less work maybe than I do now, because there's maybe partly imposter syndrome or something else, I don't know, undiagnosed as of yet, but I just felt so uncomfortable with shilling and feeling annoying and not wanting to talk about it. And then I joined the wonderful NFT marketing expert Caitlin's space, who is here right now listening. Hello. And I actually raised this issue, like, how do you, once you've launched your project and you've had the first few sales, how do you keep it going without seeing like you're fucking boring everyone? And she gave me the golden nugget of advice, being like, you should feel like you're boring yourself, like, well, not boring yourself, but just like you're talking about it constantly. Because if you tweet like 10 times, not everyone's going to see all of those 10 times, but people might see one or people might see two. And I've gone off on a complete tangent here from what you asked, but I worked a lot. That's basically the answer to that. But I only didn't work that much after it launched because I was feeling apprehensive and I had to overcome that.
Perfect.
And breathe. Evan, my love, you've had your hand up for a little while too. How are you?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me okay? I'm coming from the car.
I can hear you perfectly.
Thank you for hosting this space and sharing your knowledge with us. I wanted to invite you to respond to it again, and if not, I'm happy to do it if it would be helpful to you. And then I have a question. But the digressing to the idea of value, I feel like we make a lot of assumptions about people's experience in the space, and I wanted to offer, if you don't care to, but also since it's your space, girl, invite you to speak on, what the difference is between art and an NFT. I feel like we maybe glossed over what an NFT really is beyond art. And if you don't want to talk about it, or you said you might feel out of your depth about value, I'm happy to postulate, but I would love to hear you expound on it if you have a thought.
I think if I repeated what I said earlier, I would just be repeating myself. But since you are such a wonderful, insightful, and knowledgeable speaker, I think it would be really beneficial for everybody in the space to hear your thoughts, and I'm sure you have some good ones.
Hey, that was great. The check is in the mail for your flattery, so thank you for that. I think it's really important as we onboard people. I agree with Kat that it's more important right now as a business person to focus on audiences that are established and understand what we do. But it is equally important as people passionate about education who want to be good stewards of these people coming to our space. If you're listening and you don't really understand how value is assessed to an NFT, you may be making the mistake of confusing NFTs with digital art. And it's probably because we as people in this space don't do a good job of telling you what an NFT really is. NFTs can be art, but NFT is proof of ownership. It is digital proof of ownership of an asset. It is a medium. The same way a piece of paper can be used for a poem or a painting or a coaster for your coffee cup, NFTs can be used as a medium for art, for commerce, for storytelling, for identity building, for community building. Anything that you can attach ownership to can become part of an NFT. The NFT, though, is not the art. The NFT is not the utility. The NFT is the proof of ownership, being able to say with certainty, quickly, without error, that I own this thing that I say I own. That's why if I right-click and save a picture of somebody's Bored Ape, and I try to get into the Bored Ape Yacht Club, they're going to verify my proof of ownership by looking at the blockchain where that record is kept, and they're going to see in a second that my picture is a fake. And they'll know equally in a second that your Bored Ape, which is tied to that NFT, its verification, is real. So I just wanted to offer that clarification. NFTs are not just art, and they are a medium. And then if I can have 30 more seconds, I would really love to hear your voice tell us more about, from the other side, with hindsight being 20/20 and all that, some of the things that maybe you would do differently or advise people to do differently than you did. And if you had one of those things, maybe if you could paint it with an example, I would love to hear that.
Thank you so much, Evan. I feel like whenever I hear you speak, like the way you articulate yourself is just music to my ears. You just organize everything in my brain for me and say it in a way that's better than I ever could. So thank you for the wonderful explanation you have just provided to everybody. To answer your question, things that I would have done differently. The one thing that I think about that I spoke to Brain Shambles Art about recently on Twitter, I know she's in here, is should I have made a smaller collection? Now, this is a bit of a contradiction because the whole collection sold out, like duh. So however many pieces I had were clearly the right pieces. But I do sometimes wonder whether, I especially had this doubt during the process, whether I had overestimated myself. And a lot of the creators that are in my community do start with smaller collections. And I think not in terms of selling, but maybe for my own selfish self-esteem, having like a collection of 10 or 15 as opposed to 33 would have just really helped my confidence in the space. But that the reason I say it's a contradiction is because it's difficult, because they did sell, but you know, the maintaining your mental health and confidence and security in yourself is important too, whether at the end of the day you get sales or not. And I think being able to maintain that the whole way through would have been a lot more helpful for me to make the steps that I'm making now maybe a bit earlier. That's
Great
definitely
answer.
one thing that I'm
Thank
stuck
you.
on. Thank you so much for hopping onto the stage and joining us. Adam, I'd love to hear from you. You've been waiting so patiently for ages. For everyone's context, me and Adam used to work together. How fun.
Oh, very fun. How are you? You okay?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Good, thank you. My question may be a bit of a biggie, but what I'd love to know just your general timeline of like getting into NFTs, learning about them, and then sort of releasing them versus getting into the whole TikTok and how Discord played off. Well, particularly Discord is what I'm mainly interested in because I don't really use TikTok or Twitter, to be honest. Yeah, the whole making contacts and eventually building a community versus when you start actually selling and all that kind of thing. And I think you've already alluded to the fact you only recently started your Discord. Is that right? You were already selling at this point, but yeah, I think there's a question in there, right?
Yes, that's definitely a question there. And luckily for you, I somehow know my timeline very well. So mid-December, I think around like the 15th or so, I saw my first Brooklyn NFTs TikTok. And I was sitting in the exact space that I was now in my bedroom. I remember like saving it for later and being like, right, I'll get around to this when I have the time. And then I got my COVID and made my first TikTok on the 21st of December. Throughout that first week, I slowly began interacting with people, slowly making friends. I joined Discord, I would say probably a week after that. No, actually, it would be a few days after that, because I remember I was in Discord on Christmas Day, such a loser, but I think I was really excited about it at the time, so I was definitely talking to people on Christmas Day. So let's say a few days after that. But this was when I was in other people's Discord. So the first Discord I joined was Espo Visuals, Sydney's Discord, who's here listening too. It was the most wonderful, amazing, sweet, welcoming community. And I say that's a Discord where I like came into my own, like in the context of all those amazing people. And then creating an NFT Twitter was at the same time, I think, as joining Discord. And then making my own Discord was when I was back home after Christmas. I would have been like about a week into January. So I'm giving you very, very specific dates about my life here, but that kind of shows how I slowly built up to it and didn't have it all ready at once and built it piece by piece.
Amazing. It just feels really wholesome. Like, I think I said this to you before, but it just feels like your approach is just making friends in the NFT world, and then you all support each other and lift each other up, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, it's absolutely great. If you join good spaces full of good people, you'll have lots of love in there for sure.
Oh, thank you so much.
My love, future Lilith, I wanted to ask if you wanted to jump in on this topic, or if not, I'll give the mic to Kevin, who's been waiting a little bit before you.
Yeah, pass the mic to Kevin.
Okay, brilliant. Kevin, what would you like to jump in on?
Hello, thanks for having me. I was just really curious. I don't know if it's been asked before, but like, why did you choose Solana to, or SolC to mint on?
Perfect. This actually hasn't been asked before, but it's something that I love to talk about. So I chose SolC because I was considering the environmental benefits of where to mint my NFTs. So when I first got into the space, I got super, super excited. Googled NFT marketplaces. First one comes up, OpenSea. Cool, let's go. Mint, 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 mint. And so I do have some pieces on there. And then I took a step back from my own craziness and started to learn and research and found out that actually SolC and Solana has less gas fees, and SolC is a carbon neutral marketplace, and the proof of stake method is better for the environment than the proof of work method on Ethereum. And since I found those things out, I decided to make the switch. So I think my first reason was definitely environmental, and then as I've continued into the space and I've bought NFTs from my community, I found SolC to have less of a gas fee barrier, which kind of solidifies my previous reason of it being cheaper, even though I didn't know the full extent of that at the time as I do now.
Thank you. I have to hop off soon, but I really appreciate you answering that.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for joining us for the short space that you could. Thank you for giving us your time. Okay, future Lilith, my love, what would you like to speak on?
Hi, this space is so awesome. Congrats. That's so funny. I was going to ask the same question that Kevin asked, but I guess I can pivot to another question, and you might have answered it in some format, but I think it might be helpful for anyone that's new. Do you, just in your process with building this and it being your first collection, like highs and lows, or lessons learned that were incredible and lessons learned that were really helpful, or hard, because I think the space requires so much learning and trial by fire. So if you have any to speak on.
Yes, definitely. The first thing that popped into my head is kind of related to my previous answer to Kevin, is when you find out about NFTs, I mean, I'm sure as you guys all have, but when you decide you want to make a collection, don't go crazy and just go minting shit and paying 70 quid on wallet initialization fees if you're not sure if that's the platform you want to go for. That is 70 quid I'm never going to see again, and it's my own excitement that I have to blame. Of course, if you want to carry on OpenSea, then all the love for you, and that is great, and you made the right investment for your time. But I really regretted that, because I just, not in a monetary sense, but it just was a clear sign to me that I had gone too far too fast and needed to pull back on myself, and I wish I had known that. And since that moment, I used it as a learning to myself to just pull back, wait a minute, and don't rush. I think that's my biggest and most helpful learning that I've carried through, and I will definitely continue to carry through, especially as I work on my next collection, which is going a lot slower than my first ever did, but in a way I'm very glad of it, because it creates a lot more opportunity for reflection.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I feel like, I don't know if everybody in here heard me say this, but this is my first space. So if I am rambling and I'm out of breath by the time I finish a 100-word sentence, then that's just who I am, and I'm trying my best. But yeah, I think I have to say "and breathe" to myself after every answer. Whew. Right, center, who is next? I think the lovely Geeky Pet NFT was up next to speak.
Hi, Dom. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
You are doing fantastic. You sound great. You don't sound breathy. Don't worry about it. You sound amazing. I am loving this space. I am loving hearing your process. It's so great to hear another artist. You know, after jumping into spaces where there's these huge projects and they're like acting like they're rock stars and stuff, it's just so refreshing to know that us little people, like, we can make it here too. We don't need the huge marketing community and stuff like that behind us. Like, I love how authentic your approach is. It's just it's so refreshing. And I love also that you recognize your limits and you don't overextend yourself, and you realize when you have to pull back. And you know, because of that, you sold out your collection, and it's like, yeah, now you have a little bit of funding and you can jump on to the next stage. I really appreciate that. Anyway, my question for you is, did you find that any of your previous existing audience ended up flipping over and supporting your project, or was it all new people that you had met in the NFT space?
First of all, thank you so much for your kind words. I'm literally blushing over here. Hooray for the little
You're
man.
so cute.
Yes to us doing it. We're doing our best. Oh, love you.
Love you too.
In terms of, yeah, no. The answer to that is no one.
Yeah, but I'm actually I'm dipping into it a little bit. Like, I don't want to bug my audience being like, hey, come over, buy NFTs, but I also kind of want to onboard them. So I'm kind of making a series of like, what is an NFT, and just kind of like seeing if it piques interest. But yeah, I was just curious if you did any of that yourself.
Not really. I mean, the only person I could say that, well, actually, there's two people. So one person that I may say that I didn't onboard, but maybe helped them a little bit, was Faces of Faces, who I'm not sure is here. But because of how quickly he jumped into the space, I feel like he had already done a research basis for himself and like knew some stuff and knew he wanted to do it. And then it was just like a little bit of a chat and a push with me, but I would definitely not take full credit for that. And then one of my friends, who had been thinking about it, has become a holder of mine and is looking to get into it in the future. But I think for both of these people, the key thing is that they already knew about it and had it in their mind. There's nobody that I like have converted from zero to hero at all.
Okay, I totally get that. So it's kind of like they were like, "Hey, I know this girl and she's into NFTs too. Wow, awesome. I'll support her." Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to take up too much of your space. So on to the next person. Thanks for letting me talk.
Brilliant. Thank you for asking. I think the next person we had up is Surface Riders NFT. What have you got for us?
Hi, how you doing? Congratulations on selling out. That's an awesome thing.
Thank you.
I'm not here to shill or anything. I'm just here to literally just, if you don't mind, I wanted to extend a hand as well to the people who are new in the space. And one thing I wanted to say was, as someone who is developing their own collection, nothing's ever gonna go perfect in any way, and you just can't expect too much out of developers just because you saw Bored Apes or CryptoPunks blow up. Not every NFT is gonna do that, and that's kind of why I wanted to speak, because I heard you say that you went kind of crazy with the minting, and I did the exact same thing. But luckily, I was able to get into a few bigger projects like Gambling Apes and Cryptoons, which Cryptoons has an amazing community, and their floor price was 0.05 for a month before it jumped to 0.6. But a lot of projects don't do that, and I just wanted to come out and tell you guys, don't expect too much from a project, and if you believe in it. If you like the art, if you believe in the utility behind it, that's what NFTs are about. It's about trusting your own judgment with something. Basically, it's, you know, a lot of luck. Obviously, it's just like owning a stock or something, but owning an NFT is not like owning anything else in the world. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful, it's the future. There's nothing like them. So I just wanted to, you know, come on here, let that be known. Like I said, I'm not here to shill. If anybody does want to check it out, feel free to. This is the Twitter, but yeah, thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Always love when people share their knowledge. I just wanted to add a little side note for anybody that I've taken off the stage. It's not personal. I just, as I'm hosting by myself, I don't have a lot of slots. But when I think you're done speaking, I'm like removing people to add more space for others. But if you're not done, just a request, of course. But yeah, thank you, Surface Riders NFT, for sharing those lovely little golden nuggets of knowledge and thoughts with us. Keeping track of who was next, I think is it Johan or Johan Morales? I'd love to pronounce your name correctly.
It's Johan.
Okay, brilliant. What would you like to say?
Well, first I would like to congratulate you for sell out your collection. That's amazing. I don't know if you can hear me. I moved to another room.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Well, I just want to congratulate you and say that this is an amazing space. I new here. I have like 3 weeks here learning about NFT and stuff. But I would like to know just about the Discord. So what do you recommend? First, build a community on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram, or start with the Discord since the day one. Like even if you have, I don't know, two friends on that Discord. What do you recommend?
So the way I did it was I didn't start my own Discord straight away. I first joined other people's Discords and spent some time hanging out with people on there. And I think that helped me build connections that people later wanted to join my Discord. But of course, not all of them, there's no obligation to. So that's my experience. As I've said before, I'm not going to speak beyond my means and say you will be successful or you won't be successful if you start your own. But the thing about building connections is like, if you start a Discord, you're gonna want to have people that want to be in it. I want to speak to you, and I think that's what building connections first will really help you with.
I understand. Well, I think that's my question. I'm completely ignorant about the Discord and everything. Also, I opened my Twitter like 2 weeks ago, so everything's new for me. And I would like to say that's amazing that everybody on this space, the NFT community, is like to share knowledge about everything. Also, it's amazing that because I don't know, I'm a painter and oil paints and stuff, but sometimes you don't find that connection with the people here in on this space. Everybody's excited about learning and share the knowledge. Hey, I have this. I have this. I don't know. Everybody's sharing knowledge, and that's amazing because I think that art is about sharing. It's not just hey, I do this and it's amazing. No, I think that art is sharing. It's expression. It's a story that you want to tell and share that with everything with someone. It's amazing. So that's it.
Yeah, it is so amazing. Whilst you were speaking, I did think of actually something that may help you. That definitely helped me. So I don't have the stats, but most of my Discord members came from my TikTok actually, rather than my Twitter. So when they introduced themselves, a lot of them seem to say, I came from your TikTok. So if you've ever thought about maybe delving into TikTok videos of sharing your art, you don't necessarily have to show your face if you don't want to, but that could be a really good way to reach a wider audience too, and maybe people want to join your Discord from there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Also, I have a few treated thoughts videos on my TikTok, but I don't like to I don't have that confidence to show my face and stuff. But my girlfriend always laugh at me about that because I don't know, I'm alone in the room talking, recording some TikToks, but I will try more. I will be more consistent on that.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, only if you feel comfortable, like don't force yourself, but also it is not as scary as you think. Like when I first started doing TikTok, I used to like do my makeup, do my hair, make sure I had like nice clothes on, and now I'm like, fuck it, wake up, do a TikTok, like whatever. Like you just build, like the more you do it, the more you build confidence. Is basically the point.
Yeah. Also, I saw an interview with Gary Vee that
Mm-hmm.
he said that hey, it's just post on TikTok and I don't give a shit about what they do, if I do it wrong, if I do it well, because nobody cares. Something like that.
Exactly. Nobody does care. But they do. They do and they don't. They don't care about what you look like, but they care about what you're sharing and the energy you're giving about. You know, that's what people care about.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. God, I've had an absolute nightmare, guys. I came here with my little notebook, super ready to write down like the order of what way everyone's speaking, who's next, whatever. And instead, I've just been sitting in my chair, spinning around with a glass of wine. So I've completely forgotten who is next. But if I dig into my little pea brain, I think it may have been Leo NFTs and then Good Boys. And then Eye Candy Vigilante after that.
Hey Dom, hey everyone. It's okay, even if the order was or wasn't wrong, Dom, you are totally off the hook. I just wanted to say hi to everyone. It's so nice to see everyone here. A couple of familiar faces from Twitter and TikTok. Just speaking of TikTok really quickly, Johan, I totally understand what you're talking about not having the confidence for TikTok. But as Dom said, it's such a great platform to connect with people. I totally wanted to be like a doxed artist, but I've been able to like share my story and connect with so many people there. So whenever you're confident and whenever you're at your own pace, go for it. I would say it's such a good platform. But yeah, I wanted to say congratulations to you, Dom, first of all, on the collection, as always. And also just for like hosting such a nice, safe space. I'm an NFT newbie myself, but I don't know how interactive these spaces can be, but I just want everyone to just chuck up 100s for Dom. Like, props
Oh
for
my
her. Like, come
God.
on, guys. Like, you have hosted this so well. You've like presented yourself brilliantly and like really just maintained the pace and the whole purpose of it. So yeah, hundreds to you. But I think I had a question for you as a newbie.
Yeah.
For anyone that's kind of joining the space and feels quite intimidated, what would like be your advice for anyone that kind of goes through this phase of like self-doubt as an artist, or like kind of like the self-sabotaging phase? I feel like everyone's always been there. Like, you know, no matter how big the artist, everyone starts somewhere. So we all start as small artists. What would be your advice for anyone that kind of hits that point? Like, how do you overcome it?
That is a good one. I think I know that the self-sabotaging space can get quite dark and it can be difficult to make these steps that I'm about to suggest. So I fully acknowledge that you may think it sounds silly, but like this is so like selfish of me. But when you're kind of feeling like your art is shitty, then just share it and the universe will probably give you someone that's going to compliment it and then you're going to love it again. You know, don't share it in like I think I mentioned it before, like maybe other people like it, but I hate shilling. It's not for me. I can't do it. So don't share it in a shitty way unless that's your vibe. But if you're just like, oh, I just made this new art piece, like what do you guys think? You'll probably like get some people who give you a little bit of that confidence you need. And it's not even a bad thing to like ask for that. You know, you're not tweeting like, tell me that it's good, or you're not shoving it in people's faces in Discord. It just, loads of Discords have like share your art channels. And whenever I've posted in any single one of these, like you just always get like at least a little heart emoji react, or even someone takes the time of the day to share a compliment. So that can really help you reconnect with your audience and remember like that you as an artist, you're not just like in a hall of mirrors like staring at yourself and in your head with your own thoughts. Like what people find like that they connect with your art and things like that are important too, and that can help you just center yourself a little bit. But I do fully understand that in a time where you're just like not feeling great, you might not want to do that. So if you're just like in a space where you just feel completely unable to do things like that, then it's okay to also just like take a time out. Like you also don't have to force yourself to keep trying and keep finding value and keep finding validation. It's okay to just like take a day, 2 days, a week away. The space is still going to be here when you get back, and being able to devote your full energy, no, not your full energy, like your best energy. I think I saw a tweet from Caitlin saying that earlier, like being able to donate your best energy rather than all your energy is super valuable too.
Thank you for that. That was really well said. I totally like resonate with what you said there. It's so true. Like the smallest of like things, like an emoji in a Discord or like a retweet, a quote tweet. It's really those small things that like help me feel better at least. So yeah, I think you put it out there real well. And I'm just super excited to see you this weekend. Have a nice catch up.
Yeah, literally super excited to meet you IRL. For everybody's context, we're going for brunch.
Woo woo.
And it's gonna
Girly
be super fun.
brunch.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
I mean, I wish all of us were in London because we'd do one fat link up. Like everyone just meets up. It would be so cool.
that would literally be so cool. Soon come. If anyone's ever coming to London, literally tell me and I will take you around and we can all hang out. I think Psych, I know that you weren't next in the queue, but I think if you got a hand up, you may have wanted to jump into this topic. So I'd want to see what you have to say.
Not at all, and that's why I turned the hand off and then I turned it back on. But I'm not next. I think it was eye candy.
That's okay. If you want to like carry on this topic, I'm perfectly happy to give you the floor. I know that eye candy is a very lovely patient lady and she won't mind at all.
Well, I really appreciate that. First and foremost, congratulations to your sold out collection. That's so amazing. And, big ups for that. You got to give everybody their flowers. So I've heard in the space. Brand new here. And my question for you is you switched blockchains, right? So you were in Ethereum and then you went to Solana. And for an artist that's new to the space and is going to want to mint, that's literally what I'm trying to figure out now. So in your experience, what was the community like for the Ethereum blockchain, and then for Solana? Like I know there's so many different communities. What are your thoughts on that for new artists?
So my thoughts on OpenSea and Ethereum are like no thoughts, brain empty, because I never even participated in that community. Like when I say I went like full crazy minting without knowing like fuck all, like that's what I did. Like I didn't speak to anyone. I was just like, okay, mint, here you go. That's what I did. No community. So I cannot speak on that. I know that OpenSea is like a super popular platform. I think it's the biggest and there's loads of people that are on it. So like that's definitely a factor, and I'm sure that you will find your corners in there. I don't know those corners, but I'm sure they exist and you can find them. And speaking about Solsea, so one point that I didn't touch on, but I think really is important to mention now is, aside from the environmental impact and the low gas fees, it is the community that drew me to Solsea. Like when I was following Brooklyn NFTs, who led me to Espo Visuals, who led me to like Crypto Glitch Bunny, who led me to this chain of people, they're all on Solsea. And might be like new creators bias, but I was like, okay, if these people are showing me how to do it and they're in this space and it seems like they'd be able to help me if I got stuck, or like they'd be able to support me because we're all on the same blockchain, how about I dive into that too rather than trying to go it alone? So it just happened to be like the luck of the draw of where TikTok led me. It led me slap bang in the middle of a Salty community, and combined with the other reasons that I had for joining it, it just was the perfect storm of wanting to do that. So I found this community that's really tight. If you want to get in on it, please join my Discord. Psych, I'd love to have you there, and we can all be in Saucy Gang together.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your insight. That really helps. And thank you for holding the space.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. Right. So next up, I think we had the lovely Eye Candy Vigilante. Hello.
Hi, we are so proud of you, Dom. I'm fucking stoked to see what you do next, which I love, and I can't wait to come to London and be shown around because I like obsess over London so much.
Oh my god, have you ever been?
No, I've been to England, but I've never been to London specifically.
Yeah.
It's on the bucket list, don't worry. But anyway, so my question was, I would love to get your perspective on your like community, like specifically your community, and understanding who they are, because I find like, you know, I'm involved in TikTok and Twitter, but I genuinely don't know who these people are, and I'm so curious about like who is interested in NFTs and specifically, you know, our like community. And so do you have any insight into, you know, whether who your holders are, like are they artists, are they investors, are they just into Soulsea, or like who's in your Discord, like are they friends, that kind of thing.
Okay, I'm gonna tackle holders first and then Discord community second. So my holders are probably a lot of the TikTok creators that you know, a lot of the people that we've connected with, so like Creative Viking, Kate Bergman, people like that, Soul Animals, like all the people that we speak to like on like a daily basis. They're most of my holders, and then there's a couple of extra people who have connected with me on Twitter Spaces that weren't previously, or maybe like in Discords that weren't like part of my super close inner community, but like obviously come into it now as my holders. So that's kind of who they are. I have one anonymous holder who I've never found, but only just one. And then in terms of who is in my Discord community, a lot of them are NFT learners, because if anybody here is familiar with my TikTok, if you're not, it is in my link tree. A lot of the content I make is geared towards my learning journey, and then people hop in on that and they want to learn too. So a lot of them are learners. A lot of them are quite far along in their journey, getting ready to do their drop. A lot of them are just curious explorers wanting to find out more. And then a lot of them are the lovely faces that you see here and that you've connected with too. So it's a right mixture, but I say pretty much everyone is early on in their journey. I don't really have a lot of like big time established collectors in my community right now, which is cool.
I think that's awesome. I think it's really cool because people can see your journey through it, which is like definitely an interest of mine. So thank you for answering my question, and I'm super excited to see what you do next.
Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Righty tighty. I think God Boys was next. What would you like to say?
No, I don't have anything. I'm just chilling. Thank you.
Okay, that is not a problem at all. If we run out of spaces for speakers, I may have to pop you down, but you're all right now up here to chill. I think the next person that was waiting was Melodora, NFT photographer. That's really cool. What would you like to say?
Hi, hello, how are you? Well, thank you for doing this space and sharing your knowledge with all of us. First of all, I loved that you talked about the environmental issue, the use of tremendous amounts of energy, and well, because I care a lot about that, and I think it's important for all of us to talk about that and think about that. I'm currently on Tesos, and well, I'm not selling much really. So I'm going to follow your advice. And what I wanted to ask you is about Discord, because I've heard a lot about Discord related scams and security issues on Discord. What's your experience with that? And and I don't know if you talked about this earlier, but I would like to know, how do you go about the issue of pricing, your prices?
Thank you for asking. God, Discord scams first. Discord scams, they can be the worst, especially if you're like in a big Discord with like loads and loads of people on it. I have very fortunately never been involved in one, but there are ways that you can protect yourself before it happens. So a lot of the time when you join like a big project's Discord, it tends to be somewhere in their rules or their FAQ or something that says that the founders will never DM you. And that means if somebody DMs you like with a similar image and a similar username, they're probably a scammer. So what you can do is go in your privacy setting and just turn off those DMs. And then you'll only get DMs for people that you have accepted to be your friend. And then obviously only accept people to be your friend that you have deeply, deeply connected with and that you trust. Never click any weird looking links on Discord, links that you don't trust from people you don't trust. Don't open DMs like if you're waiting for a mint on a project that you know is at this time on this link. Don't open a DM that says like get in early through this link, because that will probably be a scam too. And yeah, just like, I mean, it's easier said than done, but like keep your eyes peeled, keep your wits about you. Don't let the FOMO get to you. Don't get the excitement get to you, so you don't like measure your decisions before you decide to go clicking on stuff. And then in terms of pricing, this is a funny topic because I see that my friend Ginger Ninja is here, and we once had a space where he completely beefed me on my pricing, so I'm sure he'll have some thoughts on this, but I touched on it earlier, maybe before you joined, but I will explain my pricing for this collection here. So I did staggered pricing that started really low, ranging from 0.17 sol to 0.29 sol, which is about like £18 to I think about £30 at the time, because of course we're in a dip now. And the reason for my pricing was because I wanted to make it accessible to people to join into my project. And also I was really cheeky, and what I did was all the lovely new friends that I had made on that were selling on Solcy, I just looked at the collection and looked at what prices they were putting up and kind of thought about how I could relate those prices to me or adapt them to the stagger system I want. I just kept myself like in the same bracket that they were. I mean, sometimes a useful guide can be just to emulate someone who's doing what you want to do and see if you can use that to help yourself. I hope that helps. I see you've stepped down as speaker, so I won't be able to hear your response. But yeah, I hope that helps. And I think Ginger Ninja, you're up next.
First off, I'd just like to say that this is super, super exciting because when you were in my space the first time and I was grilling you about your prices, you had sold 3 pieces. And I have that written down somewhere.
Yeah.
For
How times
sure.
have changed.
I remember everyone's conversations when they first hop in my space, but to see how far you've come, that's like I teared up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw that, I'm like,
Oh,
wait, no fucking way, because I saw you were in here, but I was like, is it Dom hosting the space? There's no way Dom's hosting this space, saying she sold out the whole thing, and you did. So I was utterly shocked. If you're asking for my opinion on prices, you know how I feel about that.
but feel
Uh,
free to share with the group because I know I'm being a bit annoying and a bit exclusionary by alluding to previous conversations and not telling you what they were. So feel free to fill us in if you'd like.
not a problem. Actually, I've changed my method of thinking on it. Um, so first things first, I like to tell people price your work at what it's worth. I always tell people that you should list it much higher than what you believe it to be because at the end of the day, um, in the NFT space, I mean, things are going for a lot more than anyone really expects. So with that mindset in place, price your work at what it's worth. Now, to contradict that at the same time, I've also done a lot more research since the last time we've talked. You know me and my constant researching everything. So
Yeah.
I don't stop. For those that are in here that don't know me whatsoever, hi, I'm the Ginger Ninja. I'm a photographer from Detroit, Michigan, and I've done a shitload of research on this fucking space, on NFTs, on everything about it. And yes, Dom sold more shit than I did over the whole thing. But because Dom is first off an amazing artist and probably put forth a lot more effort into the marketing aspect than I did, which I know actually as of right now because you were just talking about TikToks and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know how to make those, so I'm sticking to Twitter for now. The fuck is a TikTok? No. But what I have found though more recently is when you list out your first collection, list it comfortably high, but also relatively low. So I'd say below anything below one, like a solid one is okay, but anything higher than $100. If you're like if you're a 1v1 fine artist photographer and you're not a profile picture collection, I'll talk to you guys in a second, PFP collections. But if you're not a PFP collection, your shit should be listed higher than $100. At least above the gas fee for those that are on ETH. You folks on Solano, you can get away with pricing it a little bit lower. But why would you want to? Is the question. Just list it at the same as what you would on ETH. It just only makes sense. Now, for my profile picture collection people, you guys that have a couple thousand pieces to 20,000, sure, you can list it at $50. Who gives a fuck? I mean, what's 50 times 20,000? Yeah, you guys are okay. Your bank account will be set. Um, it's all good at the end of the day. But for us artists that are only selling, 10, 20 pieces, think about that at the end of the day. If you want to survive off of NFTs, listing your stuff at $100 and only having 10 pieces, you're only making $1,000. And that's not worth it. And on the flip side, you should be listing it at maybe $1,000 a piece. 10 photos, you make $10,000. It's not an astronomical amount of money, and that's sure as shit not money to be able to live off of. But for a first collection standpoint, hey, that's a start, and at least you got your foot in the door, and your art is in the collector's hands at that point, and they're spreading the word, talking about you. I guarantee it. That's all I have for the money portion, unless anyone has like specific questions they want to ask me. But I don't want to make this about me because you fucking sold out. I'm just the guy with knowledge. You're the one that actually sold the collection.
I mean, thank you, first of all. Whilst you were speaking, I did think of a point that I wanted to say and just take a step to recognize my privilege. Because you were saying about money to live off of, and I just wanted to give context to everybody to let you know that I have a full-time salaried job, which is why I can afford to price my art in an accessible way because I do not have to rely on this to live off, and that it's a privilege that I have that others don't have, and that provides more context to my pricing.
No, 100%. And I loved how you did your pricing. I never had a problem with it. Especially because you did tell me that from the get go. I unfortunately am not in the same boat. I'm like, it's either this or nothing. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, everyone. I'm door dashing to just make ends meet. But I'd love to stop doing that so I can actually have some money for myself. That'd be great. And then donations are a thing in the future. But yeah, I never thought you priced your work badly. Now your 1v1 piece, that's a different story. What is your starting bid on that? Because I saw that was your pinned tweet. Now you finished it. Woo!
I finished it.
What kind of dumbass name is Ginger Ninja? What the fuck?
So it's based off of anime culture. I'm really big into anime. So yeah, that's what's up. So yeah, that's what it comes from. A lot of my colors and inspiration in my photos.
Sorry, Ginger Ninja.
Right, I've muted everybody. How do
You want
I?
you want to make me co-host real quick? I can handle this.
Yeah, let's do that. How do I do that? Oh wait.
Really?
God, how do I make you co-host? That is a really good question for me to figure out right now.
Alrighty. Oh, so you did it yourself. Nice.
Oh, sorry. I was talking the whole time, but my mic was off. Apologies, everyone. I was just saying, let's keep the space focused on positivity and questions and sharing knowledge rather than like being weird.
Yeah, no, I'll keep an eye out for the trolls. I love talking to the trolls. They're my favorite. They're like fans to me. Jordan, you can stop requesting. You're not going to come back up here. I'm not stupid. Come on, man. This ain't my first rodeo. I've been doing spaces every day for the past like month. Try me, bitch. Speaking of Dom, you need to get a soundboard. I got a soundboard. It's the most fun thing I could have done for my spaces.
That is so cool. What is that? Before I refocus, let me just ask that once.
We do it plays like here. Hold on, I'll pull it up. I got you. You continue talking. I'll pull it up.
Okay, I will continue. Well, one thing that I wanted to say in the meantime is to Melodora NFT. I wanted to apologize because earlier when you asked your question and I answered it, I thought you'd step down as speaker, so I didn't give you a chance to respond, but you had just moved around in my little thingy, so I didn't see you. So yeah, apologies for that. That's my mistake.
Oh, can you hear me?
Hello. I think next, before we move on to a different speaker, I really wanted to give a lesbian NFT the floor because I know you requested to be speaker earlier and then maybe you got bugged or you lost patience or something, and I really wanted to give you the chance to speak.
Hey, thank you, Dom. And hello, room. And Ginger Ninja, I think you might need to be a stand-up comedian. I don't know if this is like your true calling.
I appreciate that. That's why I do the spaces. We like to have fun and stuff.
Yeah, thank you for the laughs. Needed that. No, yeah, I had to hop off earlier because of the whole job thing, which I'm also privileged to have. But yeah, a lot of my questions were answered earlier, and you guys were just answering a lot of my questions around pricing. But I'm kind of curious to hear more about marketing on TikTok because, like, I haven't heard anybody talk about that yet. And then also, I'll just slide in there roadmaps. Like, by the way, I'm so new to this space. I like bought my first NFT a month ago, and then I was like, oh my God, I'm in love. And I'm a
I'd
product.
love to cover the roadmap part. You can take everything else. I just want the roadmap part.
I cannot wait for that moment. yeah, anyway, I'm a product designer and like just felt like creatively dead inside, honestly. And like this just has sort of brought me back to life, and also of course wanting to represent the LGBTQ community and bring more visibility. But yeah, I will stop talking now, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts.
Brilliant. Ginger Ninja, this actually works really well because I never created a roadmap ever in my life. So I'll take TikTok, you take roadmap, and we can answer the question fully. Yay. Okay, TikTok marketing. I before I started my NFT space, I have never ever made a TikTok ever before. So my first TikTok about starting my NFT journey was literally my first TikTok ever. I had to learn how to do them. So I was a complete newbie. And the way I started and the feedback I've received saying that it was effective was just normally genuinely sharing my process, just showing like part 1, this is what I did, this is me doing my little drawing, part 2, this is me doing my thing here, and speaking as candidly as I am now. People are drawn to your personal brand, is what I've heard, was what I've received feedback on. When you are on TikTok and you're talking about the topics that you want to talk about, you're sharing the process of how you're making your work, you're just doing what you want to do without like trying too hard, that's cool. You don't have to do like a whole marketing strategy. You don't have to be a marketer. You don't have to have experience. You can just do what feels right to you and what works
Touch
for
on
you.
marketing too.
Yeah, like you can just feel genuine, and at the end of the day, the biggest piece of advice that I have received, honestly, like over and over again from different people in different spaces, from Natalie, from the Chargemals, from other people, is that from Kate Bergman, actually, personal brand is super important, especially if you're a smaller time artist. And the only way you can build a personal brand is just sharing yourself in the way that you want to be shared, in the way that you want to be perceived, but also in a way that balances like genuine reflection of who you are. If you do want your videos to have a little bit more outreach on TikTok, one thing that you can tap into is trending sounds. I follow a couple of like social media content expert people on TikTok that often flag up trending sounds and how people are using them and which ones are like small now but are looking to grow. And you can either put them in the background of your video as just you're talking normally about something you want to talk about, or you can tap into the trend if you can make it reflective of your niche. So just to like round that off, like number 1, stay genuine, but number 2, use the resources that are available to you that will propel you to a bigger audience in the format of what TikTok was all about, which is trends. And then onto
Amazing.
roadmap.
Thank you for that. What's your TikTok handle?
My TikTok handle is @DomNFT, and the link to that is in my link tree in my bio if you want a quicker way to get there.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, folks, just to kick things off before I get right into the roadmap stuff, because we're asking about what soundboards are. So I'm gonna ask everyone to do me a favor. On the count of 3, and when I say 3, I want everyone to just start smashing the fist bump emoji, just like rapid fire. You know, you can integrate the peace emoji if you want to, but on 3, okay? All right, people, let's give this a go. 1, 2, 3.
This is fun. It's like we're in a little rave.
Oh man, that's my favorite button. I do little raves inside the chats. Everyone gets a kick out of that. Everyone gets to be a part of it, even if you're not a speaker. So I love that. Even if you're a listener right now, you get to have a little fun. Good times. All right.
I'm
Good
dead.
time.
That was life changing. Thank you.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I have a whole list right now already set up of all my favorited buttons. So these are the ones I use quite frequently. That's the one I probably use most often, though. It comes in handy often. All right.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Talking about roadmaps. You'll probably hear me bong ripping like mid sentence too. I hope I don't offend anyone. I'm pro 420, so let's fucking get it. So yeah, roadmaps. Never made. Okay, no, I can't say I've never made one. I made one. I trashed it immediately. Here's the thing. Unless you're a profile picture collection with a large following that is looking for something from you, and at this point, even what I'm saying currently is a little bit of bullshit because roadmaps are stupid at the end of the day. If you want something that is a roadmap that isn't a roadmap, go on Manifold, make yourself a smart contract, and boom, that's your roadmap. Anyone's able to view it. That smart contract is like the new version of the roadmap. The roadmap is like the old way of doing things. That's before you needed the smart contract. Now to like verify that you're a real person with a real ass project and you know what's going on in Web3, you need a smart contract. As of like, and I know OpenSea put out the whole thing saying you needed to have a smart contract. That doesn't exist anymore. So technically you don't need one. But for those of you who are looking to have a authentic looking collection and have some attention drawn to it, smart contracts are the way to go. And the easiest way to go about building them, I've heard and I've talked about it and I've looked at the website myself. It's a website called Manifold. It's basically, it just asks you what you want and then it fills it in for you. Back to the roadmaps themselves, though. Hold on, I'm going to take a bong rip. Give me some hundreds for that. Let's go, everyone. Bong rips away. Because your boy can't go like 20 minutes without smoking.
Kind of love this for you. Really enjoying this chaotic co-host energy, but you're lifting me up, man.
Oh, I swallowed some of my water.
Oh dear. What you like?
That's a good hit, though. You know, for those that do smoke, if you're not inhaling hard enough that the water gets into your mouth, you just ain't hitting it right. So back to the roadmaps. Yeah, roadmaps are stupid unless you have a massive following, essentially, that basically lays out what you're going to be doing for the future. That's all it's really saying. Now, at any point on Twitter, you can literally just make that a tweet. I'm just putting it out there. You know, shits and giggles here. Just literally say, here's what I plan to do for the next year. And if people know you, and if you have a following already on Twitter, they're going to listen to it, and they're not going to give two shits about it. Honest to God, they're probably going to skim right over it because no one's really looking to read that much. I'm being honest with you guys. You know, people that are posting threads right now, I wouldn't condense it all into one post. For those that do know me, I may have said before not to post links in the first tweet. I now say that is bullshit. Just do it intelligently. I'm going to not shill my work, but I'm going to shill this post.
Go for it.
Proper execution, folks, on what a good post should look like, or at least one of my varying layouts. So go through and check out all those. You don't have to like them, but it would be much appreciated. Comments go a lot farther, guys. Fun fact for you, if we want to talk about engagement, moving towards the marketing side of things now. You got like that little segue I did there? There wasn't one. ADHD brain. Yeah, so the marketing side of things. So commenting, guys, will actually go a lot farther than just liking, and I call it dry retweeting. Unless you're quote retweeting, it's a dry retweet. It's like, not much effort given into it. But the thing I do like about the dry retweet over the quoted retweet is, and it's this fact only, when you do a quote retweet, the engagement immediately more so goes to your account because people are liking your original post and your thoughts and feelings on someone else's post. I like the dry retweet for that fact only because it still gives engagement to the original post and the original artist and creator of the post. That's just my thoughts on it. Some people will say otherwise, yada, yada, yada. Comments are huge, though. Comments will drive other people to said post through engagement of their followers. Not only that, but the more comments and likes on a post, the more attention it'll get. Just putting it out there. If you guys are trying to help your friends get a following or yada yada yada, comments over likes, people. Doing both is great, but commenting over anything else, and then following people is huge, obviously. But the marketing aspect, I say post 3 times a day, once in the morning, once midday, once at night. Good morning. I call it the lunch break post and then the good night post. And that's for your work. Now, there's nothing wrong with posting 20 times a day about your own work. Just make sure that somewhere in there you're integrating retweets of everyone else's stuff, other people's work, that sort of thing, because kind of like a reaction or an action to a reaction. So, that sort of thing. My followers will see your work if I retweet your stuff and vice versa. So new followings and new eyes on new work is huge. Dom, please take it away. I need to smoke some more.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much for that insight. I completely agree about how, as you call them, dry retweets drive people to your work, and quote retweets may drive them towards the quota. I just wanted to quickly refocus the space and introduce this as an AMA about how I sold out my NFT collection as a small artist. I am Dom, and I've kept an eye out on everybody who has requested to speak, and I know that NFT Learner was next, and then I can see that Dora also had a hand up on this topic, so I wanted to include you, and then we'll go on to a few other speakers that have been waiting for a while. NFT Learner, I'd love to hear what you would like to say.
Thanks. Sorry I sound so shitty, gents. It's 1:45 in the morning at the moment for me. So yeah, I sound kind of shit. But I just want to ask questions because so I live in South Africa, Johannesburg, and I'm trying to start with the NFTs, but the problem is I do not know. I don't know how, but I don't know. I'm still skeptical about the whole NFT project situation, and Ginger Ninja, I think you can help me. You smoke, I respect the heat. So I'm in my last year in high school at the moment. The problem with the NFTs in South Africa is the ETH. Want to go on ETH, but our rand to dollar is 15 rand to a dollar. So that bumps the price of shit up for us. Like I think $1 is 15 rand for us here. So I just want to hear your aspect of how I can get into it and what's the best resources to go into it and start learning about it.
Don't go to ETH. My best advice. If that's the case and the exchange rate is that drastic already, the fees and the transactional fees and the gas fees will just completely annihilate your work at the end of the day unless you're pricing it for $1,000 a piece. Solano, which I believe, Dom, you're on Solano, correct?
Yes, that's right. I am.
Solano has a very, very small gas fee, if not none at some points.
It's pennies, honestly.
Yeah.
So low.
Pennies to the dollar on Solano. I know that Tez is hit or miss nowadays. Tez was big for a minute. Now it kind of fell off. So that's a gamble, I guess, right there. Yeah, but Solano's huge. There was one more I just heard about recently, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, go to this one. Can't remember it off the top of my head. Yeah, Solano, though. If you're worried about gas fees and all that other stuff, Polygon. Fuck Polygon. Don't even bother. Because at the end of the day, actually, for you, you'd have to transfer from ETH to Polygon, and that's like triple the fees. Completely not worth it. Solano. Yeah. Go like full-fledged Solano talk for a minute. Talk about that.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to. So I found Solana just to be really accessible for me and for my community based on the fact that the gas fees are super low. So it allowed me not only to mint my pieces whilst paying like a couple of pennies to a pound, like on top of like as gas fees, and it also allowed others to buy my pieces while I was only paying a couple of pennies on gas fees, and allowed me to buy others pieces in the same situation. So whilst you may have apprehensions because like you think there's not as many people on the Solana blockchain or things like that, I think in terms of worrying about accessibility and worrying whether you can afford it, for example, it may be a good place to start. And if you do have a successful project on the Solana blockchain, you know, there's nothing to say that you cannot convert a little bit later down the line when the proceeds of your project helps give you the capital to make the conversion, which you may not be able to do right now.
Also, real quick before we continue on, everyone, just to reset the room and reset the space, I posted the space up at the top. Everyone go like it and retweet it. Let's get some more people in here. I want to hear some more questions, get some more listeners in here. Let's celebrate Dom's massive ass win. Super awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. In terms of who was up next, I think my love, Joy Cheng Art, you have been waiting for a really long while, and I'd really love to hear what you've got to say.
Hi, Dom. Thank you so much for having me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly well.
Awesome. So I'm from Australia and I found you on my TikTok. And I just thought, you know, going through your videos was really enjoyable just hearing you talk. So it feels like, I think for the people who aren't on TikTok, it's a very different community because you feel like you're a lot closer to people because people are so much more casual. Like I have Instagram, I have TikTok, but I feel like you're very different on each platform because on TikTok, you're just more authentic, I guess. It's less curated, and I feel like that's how you're going to reach a different type of audience to Twitter. Anyway, this is about you, so I want to say thank you for having this space, and I love having the smaller rooms because it gives everyone opportunity to ask questions, especially when you're new. I think part of it was answered by Ginger Ninja because I don't have anything too short because I haven't minted anything, and that's where I'm at the moment. I'm deciding between I guess SoulSea as a platform and also OpenSea through the Polygon chain because I know Ginger Ninja was saying how that's extra cost. So that's I think I do want to be sustainable because it's something I want to do long term. So are you able to just explain why you wouldn't go the OpenSea Polygon route? Thank you.
It depends on what kind of art you do specifically. So you said you don't have anything out right now. So what is it? What type of art do you do? Are you a painter? Are you a photographer?
So I'm an abstract painter, but I've started to do some 3D work, and I want to incorporate the two together. And so there'll be 1-for-1 pieces.
Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I hate OpenSea for fine art and photography. Because it's so oversaturated with profile picture collections and other types of art that I feel like it would just get drowned out really easily. And I say that to a lot of people, and I fear that for a lot of people. If you are leaning more towards the Ethereum side of things, even though it's expensive, I can't think of the word. Scavenge for a foundation invite. Completely bypass OpenSea. Unless here, hold on. Let me look at your page here. Unless you have a huge ass following, let me. Yeah, so I'm not gonna expose you. But yeah, so we're talking like you need a lot of people to get like huge recognition on OpenSea. Either that or you're gonna want to build your profile first before you do anything. That's something I did not do. I'll tell you shameful side of my work. And I'm not really shameful of anything. I have no remorse and no regrets at this point because it was all a learning process, and that's really what the space is. And I've found that out throughout this whole thing. I joined Twitter in November, first week of December of last year, and already had the intentions of putting out my collection January 1st because I had been marketing it on Instagram. The problem with that, Instagram doesn't like NFT talk. Everyone that's here, hear me out. Instagram does not like NFT talk. Don't hashtag it. Don't post your collection on there. None of that shit. You can post the work, and if you get people that are asking about it, like in your DMs, and you want to try and integrate them into the space, different story. But do not post any of that stuff, because here's the thing: you'll get shadow banned and you won't get any fucking attention to that piece, whether or not it's good or vice versa. I've noticed that. I've done that. I did it for 5 months. That's why I'm saying that. Unless you're promoting it, and by promoting it I mean paying for like the advertisement of it, it won't get seen. Twitter is great for that. But so back to the story. I still just dropped it on January 1st. Let me tell you, my following was at like 30 followers. The following I have of like 700 people happened within like the past month. Okay, that's just from doing spaces. I hosted spaces every day. Like I said, I talk to the people. I help educate the people. All that stuff. I've done the research. I hate my life. Okay, it's a 24-hour job at this point. It slightly sucks. I don't sleep. I barely eat. No, I'm kidding with you guys. I love you all. I wouldn't take any of this back, ever. This is great. I love it. Yeah, build a following first if you're going the OpenSea route. Solano, it's easier to build a following on Twitter built around Solano because it's a smaller community at the moment. It hasn't gotten the name like OpenSea has, but because of the fact that it has little to no gas fee, it's super new, and it's not oversaturated, I feel like a lot of people that are coming into the space are going to be gravitating towards the Solano aspect over the OpenSea because of the hefty gas fees recently. That's just my opinion. That's my forethought and my foresight. But do your own research and do your own homework, because at the end of the day, I am not a financial advisor, and I don't want to get any DMs saying, "But Ginger, you told me to do that." I didn't say shit. You didn't hear it from me, okay? You didn't hear it from me. That's all I gotta say. Continue.
I would like to step in on this. And Joy Chang Art, I wanted to say I have been looking into Holoplex for my photography project, which is more geared towards photography, fine art. And I think if you're not able to get an invite for foundation and you're happy to go down the Solana route, it seems to be a platform that's like kind of like the Solana alternative of foundation, but you don't need an invite, but kind of geared towards the same kind of projects.
No,
And
that's the one.
yeah,
Thank you. That's the one I heard of. Holoplex, whatever it's called. That's the one.
Holoplex.
Yeah, that's the one geared towards fine art, photography, that sort of thing, on Solano, so it has the cheap gas fee. I think that will be huge in the next coming months for the photographers and the fine artists. Solano will still be the PFP collection shit, such as OpenSea. That's just my opinion.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for this question, Joy Chang Art. For just okay, so because I'm in GMT and it's actually 5 to 11 right now, what I would like to do for the last time of the space is to really refocus the space towards the topic of it, which is an AMA towards me about how I sold out my NFT collection as a small artist. I have really, really appreciated you stepping in, Ginger Ninja, and help me deal with the trolls. But because I don't have much time left, I'm going to take these last few speakers just myself so I can finish off the space and let everybody give their turn to speak.
Please do.
Is that
I'll hop
okay?
off. Yes,
Thank
of
you so
course.
much for all your help and support. I really enjoyed having you as a co-host on this space. Unfortunately, it is the curse of the time zones that I don't have much time left before I must go to bed. So just to give this last few speakers on the floor, I know DJ Designs Art, my friend Donna, has been waiting for a really good long while, and I would love to hear what you'd like to say.
Hi, yeah. So I was, I missed the middle half of the whole thing because I had a call, but I was listening in and we were talking about like pricing and things like that. And I think what's really interesting coming from, because I'm a watercolor artist, coming from this world of fine art that I've come from, once you're selling a piece on any platform and then someone resells your piece and it sells for that higher price, you can then on next collections raise your price because that is what everybody is viewing your art as it's what it's worth, which I think is really interesting. And I did notice, I went and looked at your collection too, and you have a lot of ones on resale, which is awesome. I just wanted to know what you thought about that kind of like idea.
Okay, so just to refocus your question, is it how I feel about reselling? Is that it?
Oh, more about the idea that, because you know how like you did sell yours at a low price because you did want to have the access for people, which I think is really awesome. But I think sometimes, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself because I feel like I undervalued myself a lot. But how do you feel about like with your later collections? Are you going to have some that are much higher price because we all like people are already seeing how much they love you and love your art? Or are you going to still have like some lower and then maybe some that are more higher? I'm just curious.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, that is exactly what I have been thinking about actually. So, for context, I am currently planning another collection, which is going to be a one-of-one photography Polaroid collection of all of my tattoos. And the way that I've been considering doing it, it's not solidified yet, but I think it's going to be the way that I go for, is still going to be staggered pricing, but it will begin at a higher price point, given the fact that starting out in the first place, I think gives you the pass to do that. So what I was planning to do is release the pieces slowly, so not all at once, but maybe week by week, maybe one at once, maybe 2 or 3 or so in a row. And the first drop will have the lowest access point. Price of that TBD, but I was thinking more towards like the latter half of like 0.8 sol, 0.9 sol, something like that. And then as I continue doing drops, the prices will increase. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Like I have sold out a collection, but I've only sold out one collection. So I cannot suddenly start acting like I'm the king of the world, or at least maybe I personally am not comfortable with that, which is a point. But I do want to increase the prices because the sellout has given me the idea that, I am worth this. So I think the way that I'd like to do it is kind of a happy compromise between the two. It's to the people that are following and that will be in for the first drop of several, the accessible pricing gives them the opportunity to get in early if they would like to, and then gives them like a flag that if they join later on, the prices are going to go higher. So it will be transparent and people will still have the choice, but the prices are going to be higher, just given from the experience that I have been able to sell out at this. So let's see if I can sell out at this point. Is this something that you're looking to do too, Donna? Thinking about raising your prices?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because me coming from like the physical world of art, like a watercolor, if I were to do a 9x12 watercolor painting, that's like $200. And on what I was doing mine for, I think I like 0.15. for some of my for my NFTs when I originally did them, and that's really, 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 really cheap. And so now that I have a following and I'll continue to grow community and things like that, like I feel like I can raise the prices, especially since I do have a utility behind it that takes a lot of my personal energy and love. Um, so I am definitely going to raise my prices on my next collection. I don't know how much, and I might do something tiered where I would have some that would be a little bit less and would just only have something like you're just going to get watercolor lessons dropped to you every now and again or something like that, where it doesn't take a lot of my personal energy and things like that. So I'm kind of looking into that tiered structure too as well. So I really like that.
Could
Yeah,
I
I think.
say something about that, if
Of
I
course,
may?
go ahead. Go ahead. You've got the space.
First, congratulations on selling your collection. It's amazing to hear that an artist sold the whole collection. Whoever the artist is, one artists are struggling in this space to promote themselves. So well done for selling the collection. But I've been
Cue.
art for 24 years in physical art rather than the art, as helping my wife to just helping my wife with her art. One thing I would say as an advice, I mean, it's just an advice. Don't rush when you sell the whole collection. Don't rush and raise your prices. That's just a personal advice, because you have to because you still building a community around you that will help you for all your years and all your future. So when you rush it, you might not sell the following collection. So don't rush. Take it bit by bit. Leave it as the same price, because it's attractive for people to support you, and you're building collectors along the way. Let the collectors do the make the money, so secondary sale, because that raises your profile, and then at some stage your prices will increase organic, and that's more effective for the artist, and people and collectors appreciate that about the artist more than after selling one collection you raise your price. That's just my personal opinion. If you know, but well done for selling the collection.
Thank you so much for kindly sharing your opinion. This is super valuable. So just, yeah, thank you for taking to the floor and sharing that. And a side note, I just had a look at your profile. You're in St. Albans. That's where I live. What the
No
hell?
way! Come and dance at my club.
I
I teach
will.
salsa in there.
Which club is it?
It's Salsa Mish. It's a club every Friday night.
Oh my God,
What a
I will have
small
to
world!
go.
What a small
Yeah,
world!
so basically I live in London right now, but my family home is in St. Albans, so this
No
is
way!
crazy.
It's very crazy. I can't believe it.
Oh
No,
my
please
goodness.
come along, and please come along and exhibit your art in our virtual exhibition center. It's free of charge, and we helping 100 artists to come and exhibit their art and promote their art as a collective, as a whole altogether. You get two NFTs in there, and there are three links underneath them. One links to your profile on Twitter, so people can follow you. One links to your um, um, bio, so people know you, get to know you, and one links to your platform where the NFT is sold, whatever platform it is, Solana, OpenSea, anything. And the idea is to promote 100 artists rather than one artist. We've always, in physical life, we've always done art exhibition with other artists, and we feel that it's more a community of artists looking after each other, feeling happy for people to sell, any one of them to sell, and it's more effective for people. So please come and join us. It's a very cool project. There's a video in my profile if you want to see it about the VEC.
Definitely. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to DM you after. I'm super excited about this. Super excited to connect with a fellow St. Albans person.
Definitely. It's
I
amazing to
will,
meet
yeah. I'll
you.
be in
I'm
your
happy I
grill.
came in the room.
I'm so
Can you
happy
make a
too.
TikTok of you dancing salsa, please?
Oh, I'm going to have to learn first.
Yeah. 5 minutes. It will take you 5 minutes to dance. I promise
I'll come to
you.
the class and I'll
I've
make a
been teaching
TikTok.
for over 30 years, so
Oh, stunning. Love when these things happen. Absolute serendipity. Amazing. Righty tighty. So it's 11 p.m. now. This old girl unfortunately has to hit the hay soon, so I'm gonna just take all the lovely speakers that have been waiting so patiently in this space, take your questions, and I think my love Crazy Jars has been waiting for a while, so I'd love to hear what you'd like to say, and then Lady Boss Leader, you next, and then we'll have a little wrap up at the end.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here. Hi, Dom. Hi. Yeah, I'm Davido. I'm from Italy, and I'm working on my first collection. And I'm on the first part of. I just released the first part of the collection, so I'm very happy. I use. I used the Polygon because the fees of Ethereum, so I thought it was a good choice. Also because the NFTs are not in a high price, so it's okay to use Polygon. Dom, I want to ask you. I see that you minted on Soul C, and I was wondering about if you maybe can give like some infos about like how is good the platform. There is also there the properties, because the next my next collection I was planning to publish there. So if you can like give me some advices about Soul C, it will be cool. Thank you.
Of course I can. I love a bit of Salsy me. So Salsy, the positives that I have found are low gas fees, which works both ways, low cost for you to mint and low cost for others to buy, which I've definitely experienced to be true because when I'm looking to support others' art, I'm much more able financially to do so via Salsy than I am via OpenSea. So that's one positive just from personal experience. Secondly is the environmental aspect. So Solana uses the proof of stake method rather than the proof of work method, which uses a lot less energy per transaction. It's less energy than 2 Google searches per transaction. So if the environmental aspect is something that's important to you, that's a really great positive. And thirdly is the community that I found. So if you would like to join my Discord, or if you'd like me to send you some people that I know that are on Solsea that you can connect with, my DMs are open, my Discord is open, and then you can connect with other people that are on the same platform, and then you can support each other. So those are 3 benefits that I have found for Solsea. But let me just preface that by saying that I'm slightly biased because I'm just a Solsea lover. So as always, as people tend to say, do your own research, do find out what is best for you. But those are just my experiences and why I love it and the positives that I personally found from it.
Okay, I'm sorry. The properties are there are also there on Soul C.
Do you mean how you can list the properties of your art piece when you're minting the collection, or do you mean like the features of the website?
No, the properties of the artworks.
Yeah, so you can do properties on there. You can make custom properties, and I think you can make as many as you like. I think it's quite similar to OpenSea in that respect. I know they currently don't have unlockable content right now as a feature, but it's coming out soon, if that's something you were thinking about too.
Okay, thanks. Really thanks,
Oh, you're so
Dom.
welcome.
Yeah, okay. And sorry, another question.
Of course.
Like about Discord, because I'm quite active here in Twitter, like since 2 months, because I'm new in all this kind of world in the NFT world, and like how you manage like. Or also you guys, or not also Dom, like if you have advice about how to manage the Discord, because I'm not really that practice about that platform, so I don't know how to stay active there. So yeah, if you guys have something to say about that, I will be happy, and thank you.
God, staying active on Discord can be difficult sometimes. I really understand that it can be quite draining, especially if you're in a lot of Discord and you're trying to devote them all the same energy. One thing that I've tried to do that you may find helpful is have a look at the Discords that you're part of and try to just really curate that list down to the ones that you really, really enjoy speaking in. And when you narrow that down and you're not part of ones that you're kind of in it because you've heard they're good, but they're not actually adding much value to you, or maybe they're just draining you of your energy, you can really give your best energy to the ones that you enjoy, because the places where you give your best energy are the places where you get people's best energy back. You know, if you're just popping into certain Discords, but all you have the energy to do is say a GM, but then you have to leave and you're not able to follow up and have a genuine conversation, that may not be the most effective thing for being able to share your art and share your work. But if you hone it down to a few Discords where you know you've got the energy, the time, and the space to really make a positive value add and a contribution, then that could help you build your community on there and stay active in a way that actually makes you feel fulfilled rather than drained.
Okay, thank you for the advice. Thank you so much.
You are so kindly welcome. I think I have been able to speak to all the speakers that wanted to speak. I know Lady Boss Leader was up here for a little minute waiting to speak. If you would like to come up again, I would like to get to you, but if you're not comfortable doing so, that is super okay. I'll give you a minute, but if not, my loves, then speak now or forever hold your peace. There we go. Hello, my darling. I just wanted to give you the time and the opportunity to speak before I wrap up, because I know you had been waiting and I'd love to be able to hear what you say whilst you're waiting.
So, guys, I keep going in and out, so I'm going to make this short. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Thank you.
So, yeah, I just picked up my kids from school, so I'm going to make it short so you guys won't get all the back echoing of the kids. But I just wanted to thank you guys for being here, first of all, and also, you know, I'm in Dom's Discord, so it is very exciting to be here and be able to interact with these on a voice level. I did have I have one important question. I'm getting ready to list, or not list, but getting ready to finish my collection so I can list on SoulSea. But do you recommend me waiting until the unlockable content is available? And if so, when do you think it would be uh, brought to the platform? Do you know how long it would take?
What would you like to offer in your unlockable content? Is there something that you're waiting to give to people?
Yes, I would like to either give them like a GIF of the particular um, art that they buy, or I'm trying to incorporate, which I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I'm doing it as I go, guys. So I'm trying to incorporate like physical like t-shirts and keychains to all my holders and also all my Discord community. So I don't know how the physical works, but yes, definitely I would like to do unlockable content like a GIF sticker, or like a journal file, a PDF file for a journal, or something like that. You know, something that you could use in a daily life.
Okay, I understand that. That all sounds amazing. That all sounds like such great utility to offer. In terms of unlockable content, so the first thing I have to say is I don't know when it's coming. I tried to like have a look at Saucy's Twitter the other day. There may have been an update since I last checked, but I just saw that it is coming rather than a date. If anybody knows a date, please let me know. But I couldn't find one. So it's up to you. Like, there are ways to get around unlockable content. Like, you can just every time you make a sale, like make a tweet about it and say like DM me and I'll send you the stuff that way, which is a little bit more manual, but it's a way that you can do it. But if you want it to be like automatic and slick, that is something you can wait for. But in terms of timeline, my darling, I actually don't know, but I think DJ
Right.
Designs Art might know. So that I'll let her jump in because it seems like she's got some insight.
Well, I don't know the actual date, but I will tell you one thing that I've done, because I do have my own website. So when I minted my airdrops for my holders, I put in my description of the piece to go to my website so that and contact me there so that I can talk to them about the utility. So in that situation, you would have to manually verify their wallet address and that kind of thing, but then you could, once you're in contact with them, either get their address to mail them things, or email them or deliver them the unlockable content in that way if you don't want to wait. So that's just a thought that I had, but I don't know when either.
Yeah, definitely. Like there are, as DJ Designs Art said, there are ways to get around this. For like my airdrops, I just contacted people
Okay,
directly. It is
that
possible
sounds
to do.
interesting.
Brilliant. Well, I hope that answered your question. Unfortunately, everybody, I'm going to have to wrap up here. We're edging a little bit closer to midnight than I had anticipated. I started the space at 9 p.m. It's now 18 past 11, so we've gone on for 2 hours and 18 minutes, which is just absolutely incredible. I want to say a massive thank you for everybody who joined me, and just, thank you for your questions. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Massive thank yous. So grateful. And I may do another one of these spaces for anybody that wasn't able to join the first time. But this has been amazing, and you've all just been a massive support to me hosting my first mostly solo space. So thank you all, and good night.